Sometimes history isn't just something we read in books. It speaks, it lingers, and occasionally it refuses to let go. Today we delve into a spine-chilling tale that will send shivers cascading down your spine. This tale is not one born of imagination, but reality slapped with a horrifying truth. Welcome to the Nightside archive, where shadows hold secrets and history whispers terror. Tonight's episode is titled The Bridge of Ceaseless Screams. Nestled amidst the historic beauty of Vienna, Austria, lies a bridge, pristine during the daylight hours, a pathway for countless footsteps. But when the sun dips below the horizon and the hush of night cloaks the city, this bridge transforms into something else entirely. To the locals, it is not merely a landmark. It's a portal, a wound in reality stinging with an unspeakable past. The bridge, dating back to the 18th century, has always been one of gorgeous architectural allure. Travelers and townsfolk would use it daily for trade and leisurely strolls. For centuries, it carried thousands of stories across its span. But one day, that flow of stories turned dark. On an infamous night during 1762, under the pale cast of a full moon, the bridge bore witness to one of Vienna's most ghastly crimes, the Vander tragedy. Margareta and her young daughter, Elise Vander, had just attended a festival in the heart of Vienna. As they were walking home, their soft laughter met the whispers of cool evening winds. None could have anticipated the fateful events that would follow. Eyewitness records from that night remain sparse and jumbled, but accounts predominantly agree on one chilling point: the Vander were attacked. A figure, cloaked in black, emerged from the shadows, and within minutes, tragedy unfolded. Elise's fragile screams were said to echo across the city as her mother fought desperately to protect her. But in the end, it was futile. Both Margaret and Elise were brutally slain, their bodies mangled and left as grotesque warnings to anyone who dared pass after dark. What's troubling, and something that heightens the eeriness of this narrative, was the utter lack of evidence regarding the perpetrator. No weapon, no footprints, no witnesses able to provide concrete testimony. Local authorities were bamboozled, but the city's whispers circulated. It wasn't a man or woman behind the slaying. It was something else entirely. Something spectral. Something not bound by earthly rules of flesh and bone. The very next night, an eerie phenomenon began. Even before the massacre's blood was scrubbed clean, pedestrians crossing the bridge reported hearing anguished moans emanating seemingly from beneath their feet. As the days expanded into weeks, sightings grew increasingly bizarre. Shadowy figures were glimpsed running across the bridge, only dissolving into nothingness upon closer inspection. Some claimed that if you walked the bridge at the stroke of midnight, a spectral fog would materialize, encasing whoever dared step upon its path. By 1764, the bridge became known as the Sanguine Spanner, a morbid nickname bestowed by Vienna's remaining weary populace. The death toll connected to it was no longer limited to Margaret and Elise. Several bodies had been discovered in proximity to the bridge, all bearing similar signs of ferocious attacks, leaving their skin marked with deep, claw-like slashes. Localized priests attempted to cleanse the area, leading ceremonial prayers, draping it with symbols of sanctity, and blessing it with holy water. But the screaming persisted, a dreadful nightly serenade for those living nearby. Over time, local governments decided relocating residents around the bridge was the only solution. And so, a once bustling district detracted into abandonment, leaving the bridge deserted for decades. Skip forward 150 years. As the 1900s dawned, Vienna was eager to reinvent itself, emerging from historic shadows and stepping boldly into its luminescent modernity. The bridge was restored, modified, and reopened for public passage. By this period, myths surrounding the Sanguine spanner had been dismissed as sensationalized folklore, tales heightened by years of retellings. Modern science ensured the populace, ghosts don't exist. It's only a bridge, a simple static structure incapable of harming anyone. Or so they thought. In October 1911, during a particularly cold fall season, a celebrated engineer named Friedrich Goebel was spotted standing at the railings of the bridge's northern edge. An accomplished man, Goebel's name was synonymous with infrastructure through half of Europe. Nobody could comprehend why this man, with everything to live for, suddenly hurled himself over the bridge's edge into the frigid canal below. By the time rescue efforts were mounted, his body was already lifeless. Witnesses, however, insist Friedrich wasn't acting autonomously. Eyewitness accounts describe Goebel screaming, "They're pulling me forward. Let me go. Let me go." Dozens swore they observed spectral appendages or hands tugging the hapless man forth and over. Rumors of the bridge's malevolence clawed their way back to the forefront of Vienna's public consciousness. Forensic experts tried to provide logical conclusions, positing mass hysteria during twilight crossings. But such accounts snowballed, reaching further into horrifying territory. Commuters crossing after evening hours frequently complained of disembodied cold grips constraining their arms or necks. Some even reported walking silhouettes trailing them back home, shadows eerily separate from their own frames. One particular incident in 1935 has stood out to paranormal enthusiasts around the globe. This involved a man named Otto Piling, tasked with repainting the bridge's corroding underside after 2 decades of decay. While Otto worked earnestly one seemingly mundane morning, passers-by heard anguished cries and hurriedly gathered beneath the structure. What awaited horrified witnesses was Otto crouched belly flat near suspended scaffolds, staring terror-stricken into the void. Unable or unwilling to descend, every muscle in his body paralyzed with visible fear, Otto reportedly muttered, "Wide black pits," repeating gibberish about eyes watching him from inside the bridge itself. Shortly thereafter, he fell silent forever. Mortality stemming from complete cardiac arrest confirmed days later. Today, the Bridge of Ceaseless Screams endures. Brave thrill seekers, ghost hunters, or oblivious travelers still walk its planks amid moonlit bouts, guided largely by curiosity alone.